She doesn't want to be understood. She wants to be felt. And if you're looking for logic, you'll never survive inside a woman's desire, because what turns her on isn't what you think. It's not muscles. It's not money. It's not compliments. It's tension. It's mystery. It's the man she can't quite read. She won't tell you this. She can't, because her desire isn't spoken. It's triggered by your stillness, by your emotional control, by the silence between your words, where she starts to imagine things you haven't even said yet. These are the rules no one tells you, because most men don't even see them. But once you do, she'll dream about you, she'll crave you, and she won't even know why. 1. Desire begins where certainty ends. The moment she's sure she has you is the moment her desire begins to rot, not her love, not her appreciation, but that raw, electric, heart-racing hunger. It dies in the hands of predictability, because female desire does not thrive in security. It thrives in tension, in mystery, in the unresolved. You want to know why the nice guy finishes last? Because he answers too quickly. He explains too much. He gives her certainty before she's even started to feel anything. And desire, real desire, is born in that sacred space between what she feels and what she's unsure she's allowed to feel. You don't need to be toxic. You don't need to be cold. But you do need to remain unpredictable. Here's the Stoic truth. The more she knows you want her, the less she has to feel, because now her nervous system relaxes. And when her nervous system relaxes too early, the tension that creates lust fades into emotional flatline. It's not that she doesn't like you. It's that she no longer has to earn you. And women don't crave what they already possess. They crave uncertainty with boundaries. Not chaos, but unresolved intensity. The moment she finds herself saying, "Why didn't he text back yet? What's he thinking right now? Did I say too much?" That's when desire is alive. It's not logical, it's biological. She needs to feel like she's leaning in, not because you're pulling away, but because you're not chasing, because you're living, you're in motion, and she's not quite sure where she stands yet. That not knowing, that's the sweet spot where her fantasies take shape. Most men destroy that too soon. They overshare, overcommit, overpromise. They kill the suspense. They become emotionally obvious. They hand over their cards too early and wonder why she stopped texting back. Here's the paradox. She will never fully relax around the man she fantasizes about. And she will never fantasize about the man she completely relaxes around too soon. So what do? You slow everything down. You move with intention, not impulse. You flirt with your eyes, not your words. You answer when you choose to answer, not when she expects it. And when she asks what you're thinking, you smile and say, "Not ready to share that yet." Now her mind fills the silence. Now she's leaning in. Now she's dreaming at night, because you left a gap she needs to fill. That's not game. That's energetic contrast. And the man who gives her contrast, the one who is warm but not desperate, attentive but not available on command, interested but not emotionally exposed too early, that's the man who activates her, because he understands the first rule of female desire. Desire doesn't live in certainty. It lives in suspense. And it begins the moment she's no longer sure she has you. 2. She wants you to lead her somewhere. She's afraid to go. She'll never say it out loud. But the man who makes her feel safest is the one who also makes her feel slightly out of control. Not in a reckless way, in a pulling way, in a directional way. Because her body doesn't respond to indecision. Her desire isn't activated by a man who asks for a roadmap. It's activated by the man who becomes the map and dares to lead her somewhere she didn't expect to go. This is the rule no one tells you. Her desire isn't for safety. It's for leadership into emotional danger. She wants to follow, even if she pretends not to. Even if her mouth says, "I'm independent." Her nervous system still craves a man who moves first, who walks into the room with certainty, who orders with calm, who makes decisions without double-checking her reaction, who says, "Come here," instead of, "Is this okay?" This doesn't mean force. This doesn't mean control. This means direction. A woman is not turned on by softness alone. She is turned on by structure that leads her into softness, by a man who makes her feel like she can finally let go of the wheel. The way she speaks with her eyes, she's waiting for you to notice. The way she slows her breathing when you're close, she's waiting for you to lean in. The way she stops talking when you touch her hand, she's waiting for you to do what she can't ask for, because her deepest desires live in the unspoken, in the surrender, in being moved into emotion by someone stronger than the stories she's told herself. She wants to be kissed before she realizes she gave permission. She wants to be held in a way that silences her mind. She wants to be told, "I like the way you hesitate. It's honest," and feels seen in her fear. Because that fear, that hesitation, that's where her deepest fantasies live. And the only man who unlocks them is the one who walks confidently into them. Most men wait. They ask for signs. They want certainty. They say, "I don't want to make you uncomfortable." And in doing so, they become forgettably safe. But the man who looks at her like he knows what she wants, before she does, the man who leads her energy, not just mirrors it, that's the man who stays in her dreams because he didn't push her. He guided her. He took her by the hand, not just physically, but emotionally, and led her into a version of herself she only shows to the right man. That's the trick. She's not hiding her desire. She's protecting it, waiting for a man with enough emotional control to hold it without running from it. And when you become that man, when you stop asking and start directing with calm, grounded energy, she melts, because her body finally recognizes that it can let go, that she doesn't have to lead this moment, that someone else is in command. And it turns her on more than she'll ever admit, because she's been leading her entire life, making decisions, guarding herself, holding it together, and all she wants now is a moment where she can fall apart into your presence, where you lead her somewhere unknown, and she trusts you enough to go. That's not game, that's not manipulation, that's energetic leadership. And it's the second rule of female desire. She doesn't want to stay in control. She wants to trust your direction so much that losing control becomes the fantasy. 3. She wants you to want her, but not too much. Yes, she wants to be desired, but the moment she feels worshipped, her desire begins to evaporate. It's a paradox most men never solve. She needs to feel wanted, but she only craves the man who doesn't want her too much. Why? Because when a man wants her too openly, too eagerly, too often, he shifts out of mystery and into emotional submission. And once that happens, the sexual polarity collapses. Her body isn't wired for devotion at first sight. It's wired for the uncertainty of being near a man who could want her, but hasn't decided yet. The nice guy says, "You're everything I've ever wanted." But the man who drives her crazy, he looks at her and says, You're interesting. I'm still figuring you out. That difference, it changes everything. Because she doesn't want to be a reward for neediness. She wants to be a response to your standards. She wants to be earned, but only when she senses you don't need to win her. That's what turns her on. That's what makes her fantasize. Not about what you'll do for her, but what it'll take to make you choose her. Because your approval, that's currency. And if you hand it over too quickly, without effort, without contrast, without making her feel the tension of not having it yet, she stops feeling pulled toward you. Desire dies. Why? Because you've made it too easy. And female desire does not thrive in ease. It thrives in the pursuit of emotional elevation. She wants to feel like you see her, yes, but only after she's shown you why she deserves to be seen. Not because you're cold, not because you're manipulative, but because you have emotional discipline. You want her? Of course you do, but you don't need her, and you damn sure don't broadcast your obsession before she's shown you her soul. That restraint, that tension, that calm hunger held just beneath the surface. That's seductive. It's the energy that says, yes, I want you, but I won't chase you. You'll feel it when I decide the moment's right. And now she leans in, because you've made your desire feel earned, not automatic, not performative, but precise. And when she senses that your attraction isn't a default, but a conscious choice you're still holding back, she becomes obsessed with earning it. That's what keeps her up at night. Not the guy who pours his heart out on day one, but the one who looks at her like he could ruin her confidence and still hasn't decided whether he will. It's not about playing hard to get. It's about being hard to move. Stoic men understand this. You don't flood her with attention. You create a drought so that every drop feels sacred. You don't smother her with affection. You give her your eyes, but not your approval, your attention, but not your full emotional submission, not yet. And when you finally give it, when you finally lean in, when you finally say, now you've got me, she melts because she knows how rare that moment was. And now, her desire isn't based on what she sees in herself. It's based on what she sees in you. That's the third rule of female desire. She wants to be wanted, but she only desires the man whose want is never guaranteed. If you've ever made her feel something just by being near, comment, "She felt my silence." Like this video if you're finished playing her game and ready to make her play yours. Subscribe if you want to master the real rules of attraction.